Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great week. It is Friday, April 25th, 8:12 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, local time here in Montana. I'm on I-90 eastbound. I'm about 30 miles west of Missoula, 30 miles away from Missoula. This is mile marker 68 we're going past right now. So I'm 68 miles east of the Idaho border. Making my way to Williston, North Dakota. Not going to get there in this drive shift. So I am going to stop just west of Missoula. I think the town name is Waiia or something like that. It's like Y or WYIA or WIA. I can't remember. There's a Pilot Flying J just west of Missoula, and I'm going to put 50 gallons of fuel in there because I'm not sure if I can make it to my place where I'm going to top off fuel with the fuel that I have. I might be able to, but it'd be cutting it close. And I don't want to cut it that close. So we'll put in 50 gallons, take a 30-minute break at the fuel island, like I learned from watching all of you. I know how you do it. And then I'm going to continue on, and the place where I plan on stopping at the end of this drive shift is mom and pop truck stop, convenience store truck stop. In Livingston, Montana, and it's right next to an Albertsons. So I am really excited about doing some grocery shopping because it is very, very hard to find grocery stores that you can access legally with a truck. All the Walmarts that I'm aware of have gotten rid of their truck parking. And Walmart used to be really relaxed with allowing trucks to park in their parking lots. And a lot of Walmarts had truck parking. And Walmart has gone completely the opposite direction. I don't know what changed with Walmart, but now Walmart is very, very anti-trucker. Even whenever I ran the Walmart contract, I was not allowed to park on Walmart property for breaks. Only Walmart drivers were like actual Walmart employee drivers, not contractors, were allowed to park at Walmarts for breaks. And even then, they were restricted as to which Walmarts they could park at for breaks, like the neighborhood markets. Even the Walmart employee drivers were not allowed to take breaks at those things. Those neighborhood markets are in areas that are very residential, that have restrictions on trucks. So those things are extremely restricted on truck access. So it's difficult to find a grocery store right next to a truck stop that you can access these days. So I'm really excited. I haven't shopped at an Albertsons, and I don't know if I've ever shopped at an Albertsons, to be honest. So we'll see what they got. I'm really excited for the deli section, like potato salad, barbecue beans, rotisserie chicken. Oh my goodness. About to slobber all over the microphone just sitting here thinking about it. Over the last 3 days, I was wondering why I was so hungry. I started thinking about it, and I was like, when's the last time I ate? I was sitting there trying to think about the last time I ate, and over the last 3 days, the only thing I've eaten is like 2 bowls of cereal. So that's the reason I'm so hungry. and I'm running way behind schedule. This is a 2-day load. It's like 1,100 miles, and I have 4 days to do it. So I had tons of extra time on the load, but I'm running way behind schedule for a few reasons. One is because of my sleep schedule. I go onto a daytime schedule to book loads because the brokers work banker's hours, and then I go to a nighttime schedule to drive the loads. And flipping back and forth between those two can be difficult. So I was not able to flip my sleep schedule for picking up this load. And because of that, whenever I parked after I picked the load up and I parked at the end of that drive shift, I'd been awake for about 40 hours. But I did take a nap for approximately an hour before I picked the load up while I was waiting on the delivery appointment or the pickup appointment. I took about an hour nap. So over 40 hours with about an hour nap during that time period. And I was tired at the end of that drive shift. Really tired. But I couldn't sleep. I don't know why. I had issues sleeping. I only slept for maybe 5 hours, and then I was wide awake. Could not go back to sleep. So I waited out my 10-hour break, and then I started driving. And as soon as I started driving, I was just tired. I felt like I was going to pass out. I was just extremely tired again. And I drove for about 2 hours. And I was like, I'm just going to go back to sleep. So I pulled over to rest area and went back to sleep. Took another 10-hour break after only driving for 2 hours. And I ended up sleeping for like 6 or 7 hours during that second 10-hour break. And now I feel well rested. I feel like wide awake. But that is sleep debt. You can't just take 8 hours of sleep and catch up on a lot of sleep debt. If you've been only sleeping for 2 hours a night for 20 years, getting one single night's rest of 8 hours is not going to catch you up. I remember whenever I quit my job and got into trucking, became an owner-operator, whenever I actually became an owner-operator in trucking and I started taking a lot of time off, I was like concerned at how much I was sleeping. When I got off of that 40-hour-a-week work schedule, and it wasn't just like a 40-hour-a-week work schedule, I had a lot of work-related stuff I had to do at home, and then I had all my home stuff to do, but like I'd been sleep deprived for years, decades. So whenever I became an owner-operator and I just started like taking a lot of time off and sleeping as much as I wanted, I was concerned at how much I was sleeping, because I was like, there were times, lots and lots of times, that I would sleep for like 8 hours. I would wake up and it would be so comfortable in the bedroom, like the perfect temperature. It's dark, fans going, like it's just so perfect. I was just like, I don't want to get out of bed. I'm just going to lay here for a little while longer. And I'll fall back asleep and wake up 8 hours later. Like, I was sleeping for like 15, 16 hours a day. And I eventually got to the point where I was no longer able to sleep for really long periods of time like that. And I think it was just years and years of sleep debt. And I just finally caught up on all that sleep I'd been missing out on. But yeah, whenever you have sleep debt, you're just, I don't know, you're not all there. You just feel kind of groggy all the time. You're not operating on, you're not firing on all cylinders. You're not operating at 100% capacity. 18 miles until the fuel stop. And I'm curious as to how far it is. I think I can press this button and it'll tell me. No, it doesn't. There used to be, wow, that deer got smashed. There used to be like a button that you could press and it would show all of your stop information, but Google got rid of that for some reason. I think you can still access that information, but it requires you like digging through a whole bunch of prompts, and I can't do that kind of stuff while I'm driving. It's not going to take me long to figure out. Once I get to my fuel stop, I'll clear off that stop, and then I'll know how far it is to the next stop. I think it's only like 150 miles, maybe just 100 miles. I think it's only a couple hours from Missoula to Livingston. We're getting there. And the plan after I deliver the load, I think I might have talked about this in previous videos, but it's still just up in the air. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Williston is out in the middle of nowhere. The only two locations where you might get a load near Williston, North Dakota. Sorry, there's somebody passing me that I'm watching. The only two places you might get a load are Williston and Minot, North Dakota. And those are two big oil and gas industry towns. And a lot of the oil and gas industry stuff goes through Texas, so might be able to get a load from Williston or Minot going to like Odessa, Midland, or Houston. I would much prefer Odessa, Midland to Houston. I hate going to Houston. It's the worst drivers in the country that I've experienced. Memphis, Tennessee is probably a close second. And I've heard Memphis, Tennessee has gotten a lot worse over the last few years. $14 more miles. I think Missoula is when we finally get out of the mountains, and it's mainly just flat land the rest of the drive. Not completely flat land, but mainly. Because up to this point, pretty much all the way from the time we left Spokane, all through Idaho and all through Montana up to this point, we've basically been driving through mountains. weaving through mountains. But I think right around in this area, right when we get close to Missoula, is whenever we just get into this massive valley in between these mountains, and it's mostly just flat land the rest of the drive. I think. I don't know. I don't drive this all the time, so I don't have it memorized. I don't think there's a whole lot of mountain driving past Missoula, though. I could be very wrong on that. See, it's already opening up. Up so far, we've had mountains really close to us on both sides. Now, we're in a huge valley where the mountains are quite a ways away from us. I need a shower. I really want to take a shower before I go into Albertsons, but I guess I could park here at this Pilot Flying J and, park here for an hour or two and take a shower. But I don't want to do that. I want to get to Albertsons and get food. So what I think I'll do instead, and I'm also wanting to save my shower credits for whenever I get to my final destination. What I think I'll do instead is, I think it's called a bird bath. So one of the things that I stock in the truck are wet wipes. It's not the antibacterial wipes. I do have those as well, like the Clorox wipes, but I hardly ever use those things. I have a couple of containers of those in the truck. They might be dried out by now because I haven't used them in so long. But what I use all the time are just wet wipes. They're not antibacterial or anything like that. They're just regular wet wipes. I buy them from Sam's Club, and I think they're called Premier Washcloths or something like that. But you buy a box of them, and a box has like 5 packages of them, and each package has like 240 wipes in it or something like that. It's a lot, and it's only maybe 10 or 15 bucks. Might be $20. I can't remember. It's not very expensive for what you get. They last me a long time. But I use those all the time to wash my hands. What I'll do is I keep a spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol, 91% isopropyl alcohol, and I'll spray my hands, and I'll spray the washcloth, and I'll use that to wash my hands. And I also use those washcloths to like wipe down the dash, clean off the steering wheel, and I'll take bird baths with them. I'll, spray isopropyl alcohol on me because whenever you're dirty and nasty and you stink, what it mainly is it's bacteria. The bacteria will grow on you and die, and I'm not sure if they excrete anything, but it's basically just bacteria on your body is what causes you to need to bathe. That's what causes you to stink. So the isopropyl alcohol kills the bacteria, and then the wet wipes, you wipe it off. You're wiping off all that crap. So that's what I'll do if I have issues finding a place to take a shower. Is I'll just use isopropyl alcohol and my washcloths, the wet wipe things, and just wipe myself down, spray myself down, clean up as good as I can. If it's been like 3 days since I had a shower and I need to go to a shipper or receiver, That's what I'll do before I go to the shipper or receiver. Brush my teeth. That I can do, in the truck. I don't do it in the truck. I do it alongside the truck. I use the bottled water that I have, and Listerine, and brush my teeth, and isopropyl alcohol and washcloths to wipe off with. And it's not perfect. It doesn't get rid of all of your BO, but it severely reduces it. It probably would get rid of all the BO if you did a thorough enough job. But it's hard to do that in the truck. Very limited space. Maybe if you're a tiny little person. But me, being an average size person and being overweight, which makes me way above average size. I'm like 2 people in one with my weight. My ideal body weight's probably around 160 pounds, and I weigh 300 pounds, so there's like 2 of me. 6.4 miles. I just got to pop up for a non-drive-wise inspection station in 2 miles. I've already gone through a weigh station in Montana. I've gone through 3 weigh stations with this load. I went through one in Washington, Idaho, and Montana. Weigh station in 1 mile. Why in the hell? This one's got to be closed. The weigh station that I went through further back there was like a brand new weigh station. It's really nice. I mean, it's been there for a long time, but it looks new. It's a fairly new weigh station. So this is probably their old weigh station. They shut it down and they use that one instead. That would be my guess. I would be really surprised if this thing's actually open. These signs look fairly new. All trucks over 26,000 gross vehicular weight next right. All right, sign says closed. And that's not a sign that's easily changed. Somebody'd have to come out here and... So this thing's probably the old weigh station, and the new one further back replaced it. I got some people hanging out at the weigh station. A 4-wheeler pulled over there. Yeah, they've torn down the building at the weigh station. There's nothing there anymore. They need to take the signs down for that thing. .1 miles. You know what we need to do? Just liquidate everything and disappear from the world. Just go sneak off into the woods. Go find some place that's really remote, that hardly anyone... I don't think you can find a place where no one goes, but find a remote place where hardly anyone goes that has the things necessary for survival. Water, animals to eat. It would be really hard to grow your own food and not get noticed, because growing food requires, enough food to feed a person. It requires a lot of land.
2 miles, take exit 96.
So it'd be kind of hard to grow enough food to live on and be stealthy where no one would notice it. If somebody came across it, they'd be like, man, that's a lot of tomato plants, or that's a lot of potato plants. It looks like somebody planted all this stuff. But yeah, find some place way off the beaten path that has the survival necessities, and don't be building a log cabin that is really noticeable. I would build some kind of underground shelter and hide the entrance. Have like a bush or something over the entrance to where it would be nearly impossible. Like I would make it to where people would be able to walk right in front of it within like 10 feet and still not be able to see it. That's the way that I would prefer to design it. And just how cool would that be to just disappear from society, just live off the land
Take exit 96 toward
the rest of your life.
State Route 200 West.
All right, got my exit coming up.
Take exit 96.
And here we go.
Continue for half a mile.
Now we get to navigate the roadways. Man, we got a bunch of truck stops here. We got a Pilot Flying J, a Loves, a TA. We got all of them. All the things. I think this TA right here is the one that
In a quarter mile, turn left.
that trailer with the ABS issue, that like brand new trailer that was like 1 year old, that the ABS didn't work. I think this is the first place that I put it in the shop to try to get it fixed, is at this TA. And they worked on it, and then they said it needed the ECU, the main control board.
Turn left onto West Broadway Street, US Highway 93 North.
And they said that that wasn't a part that they could get tonight. You had to wait till tomorrow. So I had to stay overnight, and then the next day all the mechanics called out sick, and they didn't bother to tell me. They let me sit around for like 2 or 3 hours until I went in there and asked them what was going on. Like, I was supposed to be out of here by now. And they were like, none of the mechanics showed up. I'm like, well, why didn't you like bother telling me? They're like, well, the manager, oh, that's a turn only lane. The manager is trying to get them to come in. So what was going on was they all called out, and several of them gave excuses, not that they were sick, but like their cars were broken down and stuff like that. And
At the light, turn left, then you will arrive at your destination.
there's a second here. We got a yellow light. Oh. I thought I was going to be able to make that turn, but then a whole bunch of people. Oh, there's another one. I can't see very far over that damn hill. Come on. Are you serious? Like, everybody else is flying up, and then this car is just pimp walking. Yay, all the pumps are open.
You have arrived.
RV Island gas diesel. Let's not get the RV Island in case RVs roll in here. Let's not block their fuel lane. Oh, sweetness. And this is, hopefully that's the spot. These have the offset pumps where it's really hard to get it in the right spot where you can fuel from both sides. All right, we're off-duty fueling, and I have to pee really bad, so I'm going to pause this while I pee and start fueling and everything, and maybe I will come back and continue the video for a minute or two, and then I'm going to end it. We'll end the video here, so I'll be right back. Well, all fueled up, windshield washed, used the restroom, still have 15 minutes of staring at the pavement on this dumb 30-minute break. And it's a lot further to Livingston than I thought it was. It's 4 hours. It's 236 miles. I thought it was like 100, 150 miles. No, we have like a long way to go. We still have about 4 hours of driving to get to Livingston. So, yeah, I thought I only had like maybe 2 hours left. But we have about twice that, which is no big deal. I still have 6 hours and 7 minutes of drive time. So I still have plenty of time. It's still going to be a short day. I just misjudged how much of the mileage on this drive shift was past Missoula. But it's all good. But anyway, I think I'll wrap the video up there. That's what's going on with me. And I'm looking forward to telling my grocery shopping story. I'm like so excited to go grocery shopping. Like to be able to walk around a grocery store and just buy stuff. Oh my goodness. What I'm afraid of is buying too much stuff. It won't fit in my refrigerators. That's my main concern when I go grocery shopping for the truck is buying more stuff than I can fit inside the refrigerators, because there is almost no refrigeration space in this truck. The little factory refrigerator is almost worthless, but the aftermarket refrigerator freezers that I bought are amazing, but they're limited in what I can put in them. So yeah, that's the main thing that's going to be holding me back on grocery shopping is space. So I tend to try to get things that don't require refrigeration for the truck because I'm so limited in refrigeration space. But I actually do have, you know what I could do? I don't have many items that require freezing. My freezer, I can easily just adjust the temperature setting on my freezer, basically my second refrigerator. It's my second aftermarket refrigerator. I've only got like 4 or 5 items in that freezer. I can easily move those into the freezer of the factory refrigerator, and that opens up an entire new refrigerator. Oh my goodness, I could fit so much stuff in here that requires refrigeration. The possibilities. Or I could buy a whole bunch of stuff that requires freezing. I have a bunch of room in the freezer. Anyway, these are decisions that will be made as I browse around in Albertsons. But that's what's going on with me, and hope you're having a great week. After I deliver the load in Williston, then I'll probably hang out in the Williston area for a couple of days and see if I can find another load. And then I might end up deadheading to Fargo and sitting in Fargo waiting on a load. So hopefully I find a load pretty quick. I don't want to sit around. I would love to find a load ASAP and keep rolling, but we're at the mercy of the market. Just whatever gets posted. We'll have to wait and see. And finding a good load out of that area is not easy. So have a good one. And I don't know when I'll make the next video. We'll have to wait and see. I might make another driving video before I get to my final. We'll see. All right, have a good one. Bye.